25th already, and time for Proverbs 25. So, these, for the next several chapters, we finish with Solomon's writings. And these are, says in verse 1, these are also Proverbs of Solomon, which the men of Hezekiah, king of Judah, copied. Okay? Some of them we've heard before, and some of them maybe not. Right? It said, I read somewhere, that Solomon wrote over 3,000 Proverbs. Okay? And I don't think there was 3,000 in those first 24 chapters. More writings around. So, like I said, for the next few chapters, these will be Proverbs of Solomon, which the men of Hezekiah, king of Judah, copied and wrote down. Okay? That's verse 1. Verse 2, it is the glory of God to conceal a matter, and the glory of kings to search it out. Okay? God doth not reveal the cause of his judgments to men, because the king ruleth by the revealed word of God. The cause of his doings must appear, and therefore he must use diligence in trying out of causes. Search it out. Try the causes. See what works, right? As high as heaven and as deep as earth, so the hearts of kings is unsearchable. Well, they're writing this for the king, right? Okay, we've heard this before. Remove impurities from silver, and out comes material for the refiner. Okay? You do that by melting it in a furnace or crucible, and all the impurities float to the top and can be easily scraped off. Right? Remove the wicked from before the king, and his throne will be established in righteousness. We need to do that nowadays, don't we? Okay, 6 and 7. Now, Jesus talked about this, right? Do not honor yourself in the king's presence. Do not stand in the place of great men. Better for him to say to you, come up here, than for you to be humiliated before a nobleman. Right. Now that, we can... Let's open another. See if I can find it real quick just by typing 2 words. I can't think of it right off the top of my head. Jesus did tell this same story. Right? Don't go up and sit in the front seat, right? Because you may be in somebody else's seat, and then the ushers will come and say, your seat's back here, this is somebody else's seat, and embarrass you by walking you to the back in front of everybody, right? You sit in the back, and then they say, hey, we have a seat for you up front. And they get to take you up front in front of everybody, right? Instead of being humiliated, you get honored. What your eyes have seen, do not bring hastily to court, or what will you do afterward when your neighbor puts you to shame? Argue your case with your associate without betraying another's confidence, or the one who hears it will shame you, and you will never lose your bad reputation. All right. That happens a lot, too. Stay out of the courts, man. A fitting reproof is precious. Okay, 11. Like apples of gold in settings of silver is a word aptly spoken. Like a gold earring or an ornament is a wise reproof to a receptive ear. You get just the right words at the right time. Good stuff. Like the coolness of snow at harvest time is a faithful messenger to those who send him, for he refreshes his master's soul. Right? We all like getting good news, right? 14. like clouds and wind without rain, is one who boasts about a gift not given. People like that. Mm-hmm. Have an outward appearance and are nothing within. Right. People that claim they're going to do all these things and then they never do. Kind of like politicians, huh? Mm-hmm. 15. Through patience, a ruler may be persuaded, and a soft tongue can break a bone. Yeah, that's highlighted. A soft tongue can break a bone. Think about that. Words are the most powerful thing. 16. Proverbs for daily life. Right? When you find honey, eat just enough, lest you are stuffed and vomit it. Right? Seldom set your foot in your neighbor's house, lest he become weary of you and loathe you. Right? Don't wear out, you're welcome. Have you ever had a neighbor like that? Just never stops pestering you? Wants to be your best friend. 18, like a club, a sword, or a sharp arrow, is one who bears false witness against his neighbor. 19, like a broken tooth or a lame foot, is a confidence in the unfaithful in time of trouble. Somebody you can't count on, right? I have counted on somebody like this in times of trouble way back in past lives in my 20s, and I was sorry, okay? 20, like taking off a garment on a cold day or like vinegar poured on soda, is one who sings songs to a heavy heart. All right. Somebody sad and heavy, don't clown around and try and get them to laugh, okay? That's the worst thing you could do. 21, if your enemy is hungry, give him bread to eat. If he is thirsty, give him water to drink. For you will heap coals of fire on his head, and Adonai will reward you. All right? Romans 12:20. And Jesus said this too. Love your enemies. Okay? 23, a north wind brings rain, and a backbiting tongue angry faces. Better to dwell in the corner of a roof than share a house with a quarrelsome wife. Do those go together? I mean, they're put together, but they don't really seem like it. But 25, like cold water to a weary soul, is good news from a distant land. We're waiting for that, aren't we? 26, like a muddied spring or a polluted well, is a righteous person who yields before the wicked. Right? What do good people say? Never give up. 27, it's not good to eat too much honey, or honorable to seek one's own honor. It is not good to eat too much honey, or honorable to seek one's own honor. Right? What is that? Seeking your own honor? That's called pride. God hates pride. Okay? Always be humble, always be quiet, and let others lift you up. That's called honor. Okay? Important. And 28, like a city whose walls are broken down, is one with no control over his temper. Right? People who can't control themselves. So is in extreme danger. Okay? Yeah, that's Proverbs 25, the beginning of Solomon's Proverbs, written down by the men of Hezekiah, king of Judah. Right? In this Tree of Life version, this is a version put together by Messianic Jews. Right? Right? And over here we have the Geneva Bible, written in 1599, okay, before a lot of this new progressivism and all this stuff, and, just a true translation, right? And I keep it open because it's older than King James, and because the footnotes they included in the margins, even in the original, were always passed down, and they have the best footnotes that explains things. It's almost like a expanded Bible just because of the footnotes. Good stuff. Let's go over highlights, right? 6 and 7. Do not honor yourself in the king's presence, and do not stand in the place of great men. Better for him to say to you, come up here, than for you to be humiliated before a nobleman, right? And Jesus talked about this. Most of Jesus' parables, you can trace his parables back to something Solomon said. He was the wisest man that ever lived. And Jesus talked about the total parable about this very subject. Okay? I couldn't find it right off the top of my head, but it's in the Gospels, of course. 14 is highlighted like clouds and wind without rain is one who boasts about a gift not given. All right. Promises, right? Promises. See, people make promises, get your hopes up, and then nothing happens, right? Meet people like that. 15. Through patience a ruler may be persuaded, and a soft tongue can break a bone. Right? Remember that. I often say only kind things. Things that edify and uplift, right? That should be the only words that come out of your mouth are kind, edifying, uplifting things. Okay, 17. Seldom set foot in your neighbor's house, lest he become weary of you and loathe you. Right? Don't wear up your welcome, okay? Just stay home. 20, like taking off a garment on a cold day, or like vinegar poured on soda, is one who sings songs to a heavy heart. You don't want to clown around somebody who's down. Okay? Sometimes it's best to just be there and say nothing. Right? If you sit there silent long enough, they'll start talking. Okay? And 27 is highlighted. It is not good to eat too much honey, or honorable to seek one's own honor. Okay? That's pride. Never be prideful. Don't seek your own honor. That's bragging, haughty, prideful. Okay? So there you go. That's Proverbs 25, and we'll keep doing the Men's of Hezekiah's things for, I believe, for like 5 chapters, all right, coinciding with the dates. So there you go. Take that to the bank, right? So stay tuned later today. I think we're beginning John chapter 9 and are through the New Testament in a year. Short studies, stretching out the New Testament over a whole year. You take more time to study it. So today will be very short. I think it's just a couple paragraphs. So stay tuned for that. Give us a like if you think about it. And tomorrow we'll see you again.